Stout Duncan, or Fat Duncan. Robert the Bruce's personal bodyguard was a guy called Stout Duncan Robertson. And when you know about Robert the Bruce and the superhero that he was, you've got to think, who was this guy? It was actually his bodyguard, do you know what I mean? So I'm pretty proud to say I'm Fat Duncan. And I keep all this on just to keep myself in the character, do you know what I mean? It's really fit and slim. I look like Max under here, but I wear padding and all that. You know? Anyway, my thing is I started my campaign in this world of mine as a Wallace man. I read Tranter's Wallace, as every Scottish boy does, I think, eventually, and it led me on to the trilogy of Robert the Bruce. And at the end of the trilogy of Robert the Bruce, it says, King Robert the Bruce dies 3/4 of a mile up the River Leven, above high tide mark between two burns. And in my 15-year-old head, I'm thinking, that's a renting, that's no Cardus, because I was thinking Cardus as everybody else does, eh? But as I read and found out later on that Robert the Bruce's royalty, you know what I mean, and became King of Scotland, but it wasn't the royalty that looked after him for the 3 years he was running about the hills starving, and that. It was us, we the people, you know. And that's where he picked it up, and that's where he carried on the rest of his life, saying that kind of things and helping people, you know. But at that age I started to think we maybe need to do something about this, you know, and then I had a drinking career for a while, and then I had a married career with Wayne's and all that. And then I had a divorce career, which led me to being on my own and thinking, what am I going to do with myself now, you know what I mean? And I decided to do a wee bit about Robert the Bruce living and dying in my village, because there's nothing down there at all. There used to be a wee cairn that says, somebody used to live here, we think it was over there, but not too sure who he is. You know what I mean? It was so vague, there was no information on it whatsoever, it's the council, you know. So it took us a few years, and we managed to get we joined the Wallace Society, boys. We joined the Wallace Society to find out how to run a society. And it took us years and years and years to learn, because we had to follow Big Davy Ross and that about, and Duncan Fenton and people like that, you know, to learn how to do what we were doing. Big John Patterson and people like that were great. But anyway, we managed to get a wee heritage centre opened up in the Renton. We found documents that tell us that King Robert the Bruce died in Palian Flat, and Palian Flat translates to Tent of the King, or Pavilion of the Great Hero. Now, 2009, an archaeologist, Fiona Baker, phoned me up and says they've come down to the site, and down to the site they're building they're clearing all the area for new houses, and she says that's 14th century foundations there. And she was a member of the Bruce Society 10 years before that, who'd done a dig looking for it, couldn't find it. And when she seen it, she was on another project, but she seen that, she knew where it was right away, you know. So we've got foundations there, lime water foundations that were sent away to Kuros, which come back with a report saying this is lime mortar from 13th or 14th century from a chapel or cathedral of that period. And we know there wasn't a cathedral there, but we do know there was a chapel built there. He extended a manor house that he got with a 100-foot great hall, built the Queen's chambers at that end, and the Chapel Royal and Chancery at that end. So we think, we're not sure, we need to get a dig on it. We hope we'll find the site of where Robert the Bruce's manor house actually was. And there's a lot of talk now about brave hearts and all these kind of things and all that, you know what I mean? And this is an amazing day today to get people together. But can you imagine being one of the boys or lassies that was gathered at that time to face the greatest enemy that Christendom knew at that time, you know? Every heart stone in there, every wee heart stone with a wee, whatever he was stoning with a wee spear or whatever, you got a heart like that, you know? Heart like that. So I send all praise out to everybody. But Robert the Bruce is a man, I'm his captain at the garden in Brent, so we've got a wee heritage centre there, so if you're passing, come and see us. We're on Station Street in Brent, and you're more than welcome. We're open every day.
It's a song about the Battle of Bannockburn through the eyes of a young man who just wanted to be there. Not a trained soldier, but just wanted to be there on the day to say this is our land. This is my land, I stand beside my brothers. Each man here to face this day of destiny. We answered the Bruce, not for greed and not for gain. We fight only to be free. For days I have walked across the moorland, leaving far behind the glen where I was born. And a frightened crying woman carrying my child. I trust in God that I will live to hold my son. This day brings a Scottish dawn, and freedom is the right of every man. We give our all here today, so our children can say, this is our land, and we are Scotland's sons. Now we will face this day together. We may fear, but we will never run. And we will pay the cost, though many good friends will be lost. Tomorrow our flag will fly again. This day brings a Scottish dawn, and freedom is the right of every man. We give our all here today, so our children can say, this is our land, and we are Scotland's sons. On this Coxon Hill we gathered to the Saltire. When we are long gone, our sons of sons will say, they stood behind the Bruce, not for greed and not for gain, but on this Bowstone field they died that we be free. This day brings a Scottish dawn, and we've taken all that any nation can. We give our all here today, so our children can say, this is our land, and we are Scotland's sons. And if we die here today, we die for Scotland's sons.